Welcome to our podcast, Inferno Insights. I'm David.
I'm Jeff.
And this is our podcast about our start journey into the restaurant ownership.
Yeah, and entrepreneurship in general.
Yeah, it's been fun. Stick around and find out.
So, we want to start with who we are and where we started from?
Sure. I'm David. I met Jeff at the fire department years ago, along with my wife and his wife. And one night we sat down at a bar and decided that we were going to start an LLC. Intention...
When you tell this story, it always sounds like we're out drinking and partying.
Oh, well, we would never.
I believe we were just having wings.
We were just actually having dinner that night. What'd Sarah say? It was plain wings and ranch.
Yeah,
anyway.
Carry on.
So, I wanted to start an LLC, but I had no idea how to do it or to take care of the taxes. And I know Jeff had owned a couple of LLCs, so I had him help me with that process. And so we ended up, I say 50-50, but Jeff says 51-49.
I say what the legal paperwork says.
Whatever.
Remember, I'm the one that filled it out.
Anyway, so it turned into a dictatorship. Anyway, no, so the premise of the LLC when we started it was to do lawn care. And Jeff told me from the get-go that he did not want to do any lawn care, but I was convinced that's what I wanted to do.
And I think that's kind of where the name Winchester Property Management came from, is because it's not only lawn care. I was already trying to expand it out a little
right
further.
We wanted to do like rentals and stuff like that, right? Didn't we?
That was kind of the goal we were going forth. We had a couple of corporate accounts we were working on taking care of properties at the time.
Yeah. Then COVID hit, and that really kind of took a hit on us.
COVID slowed us down, and we had employment issues back then, and I don't know that we were necessarily taking it as serious as we could have.
Right. So I worked a full-time job during that as well, and I couldn't find anybody to work for us that was quality, I guess you would say. It was hard finding anybody to employ.
A lot of dependability issues.
Right, and then like it comes down to like what Sarah said the other day. It's hard to find somebody that wants to do the same quality work that I expect or that I would do myself.
It's kind of the same problem we'd have in a restaurant business, but
right.
We'll get there.
Right, yeah.
So after the whole COVID, we kind of came out of that and had an opportunity to buy the restaurant. Do you want to tell that part? Your stories. Your version's always better.
So, so we ended the lawn care side of the business, and we kind of laid low for a while. And then we decided that we needed to figure out what to do with our LLC, because obviously we were having to file taxes on it every year. So we decided,
Yeah, the way I remember it, you were using our trailer and our mowers.
Oh, gosh, here we go.
We probably ought to sell those assets while they have value.
Right. So then, yeah. So
by the way, we have a lawnmower and a trailer for sale.
No, we need the trailer. We don't have a lawnmower for sale, sir. Anyway, so we decided that we needed to figure out what to do with our LLC. And so I started dabbling in a couple of ventures. I don't know if you remember that, but when I started ordering like lawnmower parts and stuff, I got a couple different dealers.
It was like a month before we bought the restaurant.
Right. I dabbled in that for just a very short time. And then, so I go on a hunting trip with my father-in-law. He bought a new property. And we go hunting, and I'm sitting in a tree stand on the second day. I wasn't seeing anything, and I had my phone out. I was going through Facebook, obviously. And a phone call came through, and I decided, well, I haven't seen anything all day, so I better answer it. And it was Jeff. Jeff said, well, don't hate me. This is how the conversation went, I believe. Don't hate me, but I think I figured out what we're going to do. And I was like, this ought to be good. He said, we're going to buy a pizza restaurant. I was like, I'm in. He said, well, good thing I already talked to your wife. She said she was in too. I'm like, okay. So when we get back, we'll go check it out.
I started with Sarah because I figured Sarah was the hardest one to sell it to.
Apparently, she was the easiest one to sell it to.
I thought she would be the hard one. So I called her and I'm like, here's this idea. And she's like, okay. So I'm like, well, if that's the case, it got really quiet when your microphone muted, just so you know.
I know, I heard
You're the noisy one. Anyway, I figured she was the hard sell. So if we could get her on board, it was easy. So I called her, and I actually called Melissa, then called you last.
Oh, I was last on the list, even though I'm the 49 to your 51.
I was doing the company a favor and selling it to them first.
Is that what you were doing?
It was.
Were you not playing? Okay. Like somebody was playing Switzerland there.
Oh. So Melissa and I went to the restaurant that night, and I I knew the owner. I'd been there one time before this, and I'd met the owner, but I didn't expect them to recognize me when I walked in the door. I don't know why I didn't,
Yeah.
but being that my brother and I looked similar, and
I'm
my
sure
brother
that had a
well.
lot to do with it.
But as soon as we walked in the door, they said, "Are you here to buy it?"
Well,
like,
depends. What's the price?
It's like we would just like to try the pizza first to make sure that because it had been years since I had tried it, and I was like, well, we probably had to make sure it's good before we buy the restaurant.
Which turns out, through the process of buying this restaurant, we found out the community loves the pizza, and they did not want us to change anything on the menu.
And it was kind of hard. I mean, we put a lot into the restaurant. And it took a lot of time, effort, money for us to take it over, and we had some ideas to make it our own, and a lot of those were shot down pretty quick
Right.
by the thought of if we make any change, people would be very upset.
Right. And like the previous owner told us, people don't like change in this community. Remember that?
Yeah, right.
But, I mean, they were really receptive to most of our ideas.
There were some things that had to be done. It was time for a remodel.
Like online ordering, that was never a thing.
Even though we did get some complaints about the online ordering, and
Well,
unfortunately with the cost of material rising about the time that we purchased it, we had to raise the price as well.
which is, it was very eye-opening to me to actually see the cost of the food materials. I was very
The
impressed.
cost of cheese.
The cheese alone is impressive. We need to buy some cows. That's our next business venture.
We're just going to start making our own cheese.
Pizza cheese. Inferno pizza cheese.
Is this a
Franchise
challenge?
options.
Is this a challenge?
Franchise options available. Yeah. Yeah. So then he goes and checks it out. Excuse you.
Sorry.
Rude. Anyway, so he goes check it out, and then I can't remember. Did Sarah go with me?
I don't think Sarah went with you the first time.
Okay, so it was me the first time. And I do remember the first time.
I remember being very worried about bringing you guys there because I was trying to undersell the restaurant. Because
You did a good job.
it is a local place. It's a small restaurant. And
Right.
I was trying to undersell it because I didn't want you to come in there thinking it was some deluxe restaurant with a big dining room. And
Right, but you did a good job underselling it. I mean, relatively good job. I don't want to let your head to get too big. Anyway, yeah. But when I walked in, I remember thinking yeah, there's a lot that needs to be done. It's going to be a lot of work. I think we all felt that. We all knew that from the get-go.
yeah, even the challenge of learning how to make a pizza. It wasn't like your first day in a fast food restaurant, let's learn how to make a pizza. It was, hey, we're buying this. We need to make sure we master every recipe right now.
Like, how do you remember everything?
And that includes like the local specials that are secret off menu that some old lady's been ordering for
The one that's
20
been
years.
like the stick-8 note that was on the side of the Pepsi
side of the-
cooler.
Coke.
I mean, Coke cooler. Sorry.
Coke cooler.
Or the cooler in general. The cooling device with two doors.
Pretty sure our Coke rep would not appreciate you calling it a Pepsi
Sorry,
cooler.
what's his name? Anyway, yeah. So they had just little notes that were scattered everywhere, like this person's name and their phone number, and when they call, they get this kind of pizza. The thing is, though, is when that person calls, they're used to them knowing who it was. So we'd have to find all these little notes, be like, "Oh yeah, you're Barbara. You get the chicken with hot sauce and ranch or whatever." And that was a hard thing to get used to.
Right. And everything they did before us was shorthand.
Oh yeah, God.
I tell you, we had one issue with the POS system going out nationwide.
Oh yeah.
And
Partly because of Jeff.
Had nothing to do with me.
I don't think so. I think it did.
But the beautiful thing about it was the crew I had working with me was two of our original members that we brought from the old ownership. The only two original.
They were able to shorthand everything, didn't they?
They immediately started going back to shorthand, writing it out, taking orders on the old pads. And I'm like, man, that worked out well.
Okay, so the ones for people following along, the difference between what we had and what we have now is POS, which is
Point of sale.
in shorthand. And shorthand is basically just letters that mean different ingredients.
Are you saying those aren't like just common?
Well, I'm just, for people who are following along on our journey, they have no idea what this means.
If they're not in a restaurant business.
Right.
Yeah.
So shorthand is just letters. So like if somebody wanted a pepperoni pizza,
Or
it would just be P,
Yeah.
Or if they just wanted cheese, it'd just be C. But how do you know what all that means unless you've done it for years and you just keep practicing it? It just takes forever to learn
Some of it
shorthand.
was definitely common sense, like pepperoni being P and sausage being S, but then
You had
black olives was like Q.
Yeah, and then you had the ones that were like, well, we want half black olives and then half pepperoni and half sausage, and it's like, what is Q/S/R mean?
And then the P would be circled, and you're like, what is going
what is
on
this? Pepperoni on everything, sausage on half. Like, can we just write it out?
Right.
But no, that's where the POS really helps, because now we have the computer screen at the prep line that tells you everything.
What's interesting is I thought the POS would solve all order accuracy problems.
It sure didn't.
It sure did. We still have that issue, and even when it's spelled out in front of, especially our younger crew members, they can definitely miss the topping.
And I'll tell you what, it's super aggravating too. I mean, like, not against them. I'm just saying, like, with the third-party ordering platforms that we use, they judge you pretty hard on order mess-ups. And it just seems like you never can get them right. But they don't give you enough time. They want you to have it done in, like, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's hard. So
I sometimes wonder when the customer calls in to the third party and complains, because what we have on our sheet matches what goes out.
Right.
But we still get an order accuracy issue. So
I don't understand that.
yeah.
Because I know for a fact that, like, when I'm there, I'm usually pretty good about following them.
You're pretty perfect.
I am not perfect. That was hard for me to say.
It was all right. I appreciate it.
That's okay. It tasted weird. Nom, nom, nom. Anyway. Yeah. So, do we still have all three?
The three third parties? Yeah. One of them I haven't heard from in a while.
Is it the one that starts with a U?
No. I've heard from that one. It'd be Grubhub that I don't know that we've had any orders from in a while.
Ooh, throwing big names out there. Oh,
Right.
boy. Anyway.
If you're going to get into the third parties, though, DoorDash predominantly controls this area.
I think so. I think DoorDash is the way to go for us. But then again, like I said, man, they're just...
The third parties, we're going to go on this tangent, third parties definitely has a downside with pretty much across the board. It's a 30% increase in cost for the third parties.
And that hurts. I feel bad, but that's the way that it works, is these third-party companies are taking so much percentage out of that sale that you have no choice but to bump it. Otherwise, we'd be losing money.
At least all the local mom and pop restaurants that I know of around us all charge an extra 30% on the third parties.
You about have to.
You wouldn't make any money, because not only that, they charge the 30%, but then they charge you about another 20% in advertising.
Right.
So,
But I think that third-party service allows for our product to go farther. It allows us to go farther than our delivery zone, so those people get a chance to try it. And then that brings them our way.
I do struggle, though, when they order third party and they live like a block away from our restaurant.
Just like, right, well, is it a block away from our restaurant, or is it like actually outside of our delivery zone?
One of them in particular, because you don't really, on DoorDash, you don't know where they're ordering or going, except for when they come pick it up, because you can order on DoorDash for pickup.
Then they can
so
tell
they
you.
walk in the door, and I'm like, you paid 30% more to walk here and pick it up.
They ordered through DoorDash and then picked it up?
Correct.
That is a terrible idea.
The only thing I could figure is maybe they had one of those like Dash Pass.
Oh, yeah, where you get the
something.
$5 off or whatever.
And then, I think you can get even more off if you're a regular user. I don't know. But I was like, kind of torn. I'm like, do I tell them not to order DoorDash? Because I'm pretty sure that's not a thing. I shouldn't do that.
Right. You lose a sale through DoorDash, but at the same time, like,
Right.
and you get it way cheaper if you just order through our website. But a sale's a sale. It just, it hurts.
Yeah, I want to make sure our customers are taken care of, though.
Right. Definitely want to see them get treated fair. I think that's kind of what separates us from... there's a lot of things that separates us from big box stores, but, like
Nope.
Those ones. Those ones.
The ones that don't use fresh dough in their pizza every day.
Right. We do. And I tell you what, I don't know.
I mean, like 5 months into this, and we're experts on dough, but
Apparently.
we do use fresh dough.
Yeah, we make it fresh all the time. It's pretty good dough. I kind of want to just say it. The one with the crown. That's across the way from us.
Burger King?
No, that is not what I was even. Yeah, that's the one. Yep. They make terrible pizzas.
They may have made pizza at some point. You know?
Did they?
I don't know.
I mean, I know Taco Bell has
They make Mexican pizza.
Mexican pizzas, and we don't.
I feel like McDonald's made pizza at one point, like a trial thing.
Do you remember when McDonald's used to have the salad in a cup?
Yes. I am older than you, though.
What do they call
was more
that?
recent.
That was a McSalad or something.
McSalad.
I don't remember
It's
what
like
it
a McShaker or something. I don't know.
No.
Salad shaker. Oh,
I don't remember.
I got the Google.
Oh gosh, we're Googling it. We're getting off tangent again.
It's okay.
All right. Anywho,
Talk while I look it up.
talk while you look it up. Okay. I don't even remember what we was talking about.
McDonald's salad shakers.
Yeah, but it's like a McFlurry, but made out of lettuce and ham. Oh. You found it yet?
McSalad shakers.
Would they make salad shakers? That's what they called them? I'd come up with something better than that.
Go ahead and tell me I was right.
You were right. Did it feel good? That make you feel good? You get warm and fuzzies?
Typically right. That's why I'm 51.
Don't start with me. This will be the argument channel.
So let's talk about our food truck.
Okay, food truck time. All right, bring it on.
What do you like about the food truck?
I love the money that it generates, honestly. I think that it's, I don't know. I think it's significantly easier to run and maintain than a brick and mortar store. I think that it brings in more money.
I think by the fact that we take it to events with large audience,
Yeah.
and we take it down to just literally most of the time it's cheese pizza and pepperoni pizza.
Right.
Unless we're at a specialty event,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
a lot easier to run. You're not making
cheese and pepperoni. It's a super, well, and breadsticks, but that's a super easy menu. And you go to a big event, and most every time you sell out. I mean,
Right.
like the pickle fest we went to, we only made one style pizza and breadsticks.
what kind of pizza did you make?
We made pickle pizza, and it was fantastic. It's probably my favorite pizza now. It was so good, so well received at the event that we made it pizza of the month at our shop.
Pickle of the month.
Pickle of the month, pal. It's kind of a big deal.
Wow.
Hey, you started it. Anywho,
Yeah. Anyway, the limited menu, the targeted audience, it makes a lot easier to make money with it.
right. I didn't think that when we bought the pizza trailer that we would actually sell as much as we do, because I feel like pizza was kind of a, I don't know, when you go to an event, you don't necessarily look for a pizza trailer. Like in my mind, I look for barbecue or
Yeah, but-
tacos or
It turns out that pizza is kind of a staple. It's kind of like the chicken nugget and fries as well.
right.
There's always somebody in the market for pizza, especially good quality pizza.
Right. I think it lands a lot on kids too when they go to an event, or even people who, like in the instance of the pickle thing, what do they call that? What was the name of it? The Pickle
Fest?
Pickle Fest. Yeah. And the name of the Pickle Fest, they would take people, and the person they went with, they didn't necessarily like pickles, so they would find a trailer like ours that would serve pepperoni pizza or breadsticks or something like that. But when you go to sporting events too, most of the time kids don't want barbecue. They want something easy and something they like cheese pizza or pepperoni pizza. So here we are. We're wrapping up that little corner of the market there. So super easy menu, cheese and pepperoni, really.
Yeah, I really, I have no regrets on the food truck side.
I don't either. I think it was a very wise decision to make purchasing wise.
So I think we need to wrap up this podcast. What are we going to talk about next time?
I don't know. You want to talk about Victory Lane Pizza? The store? The brick and mortar store?
Didn't we already do that a little bit on this one?
We touched on it, and then we went right to the food truck.
We'll just see where it takes us.
Okay. You do whatever you want.
All right.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for listening, guys. If you're interested in more content like this, like and subscribe, leave a comment, do all the fancy things, and be sure to look for the next episode.